I love this game. I think about this game every day and how I can get myself better at it. Well, you might be wondering why I started posting poker content. Well, it's actually easy. I was inspired by the likes of the ones that came before me. DePaulo, Brad Owen, Wolfgang, Sam Queso. Over the last 3 years, poker has been more than just a game for me. It's been a passion. I've always loved the challenge, the strategy, and the mental game behind it. But over time, I realized there was so much more I wanted to share about my poker journey. So, I started a YouTube channel, and I want to show everyone that I can make it as a poker player. And I wanted to bring everyone along for the ride, including my friends, family, and those that are new subscribers. Plus, I knew there was a community out there that shares the same love for the game. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, poker is a game we can all talk about. And at the end of the day, I'm obsessed with this game. What's up, everybody? It's a good day today. We're starting off the day over here at Gold's Gym. Got to catch that lift in before we go up the hill and play. And today we're going to be playing our first tournament in what feels like forever. I think this is the first tournament in about 3 weeks or so. We've just been kind of grinding cash and been really just breaking even. Had that big losing session where I lost, $500 at the Monarch that I posted, I believe, 2 videos ago, or last video. I don't really remember, to be honest. But anyways, today we're going to be going up at 12 p.m. to play in the $250 Deepstack event. Pretty stoked for it. It's a Thursday, so I don't know how many people to expect playing, honestly. It's still the Colorado Poker Championship. It goes on for a month. It's a long tournament series. Hopefully we get 60 to 70 at least, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's more so 40 to 50 people. We'll see. I'm excited for it though. It's a Deepstack event, which is my favorite. Can't wait to get up there. Let's go. What's up? Just pulled up to the casino and we're about to register in the $250 Deepstack event that I was talking about earlier. So it's 12:10. Tourney started at 12, so we are making level 1. Usually I do like to get here before the tournament starts just so I can get all my checks and balances done and whatnot. But I mean, still making it in level 1, that's totally fine. I mean, there's so many people out there that just register as max late reg, and I'm not someone like that, and that's because I don't have that crazy bankroll. But yeah, so we're gonna go play this event and hopefully we run good. Hopefully we can make a deep run and we will go from there. So I will see you guys on the tables. Let's go. We are playing tournament poker, baby, and in the first hand we see we pick up ace jack off, and there's going to be an initial limper under the gun, and starting stack at 25,000, we're gonna raise this one up to 700. Blind levels 100, 200, 200. And here we're gonna go to a flop where we're just facing the initial, the big blind and the under the gun player who limped in. And the board comes queen, 7, queen. We're gonna lead out on this one as they both check. We just make a small bet of 1,200. And the big blind folds and the under the gun player quickly folds as well. That's the first hand. Now the second hand, we have king 10 suited, and I mean, I felt like this was, you guys are gonna see what happens. It limps to us in the big. We check things through. Small blind checks, board comes ace, queen, queen. 2 diamonds out there. The initial raiser on the button checks as well. And the turn comes the ace. So there's 2 diamonds out there. But I think we might be good with king high. So let's see what the button does. He leads out, and pretty small that is it's just gonna be 1,200. So we make the call and we'll see a river and reevaluate our decision
after that. And the river comes the 3 of diamonds. So the flush does get there. We check, and you know, the tell, what he started sliding his cards forward a little bit. I don't know if that was a tell, but he leads out really small. And we think about this one. You know, we're gonna make the call. Let's see what he raised in with. And he's slow to turn over his cards. We're good with king high. Let's go. Okay, and there's some talk at the table after this hand, and we're trying to figure out who has the winning hand, and I'm like, it's king high. He had a pair of 3s, but everything cancels out when there's 2 aces and 2 queens out there. So best 5 cards, it's gonna be the king. So moving on to the next hand. We are now looking at ace king off. Blind levels 100, 300, 300. We raise this one up in middle position. We look back at our cards just to make sure we have those 2 pretty cards, and we sure do. So folds around. The small blind is gonna make the call, and then the big blind is gonna also make the call. So we're going to a flop of a pot size of 2,100. We have 24,000 chips in our stack, just below starting stack, but things are still early. And the flop comes ace 10, 6, 2 hearts. We flop top pair, and we have the king of hearts. We bet 1,100 into 2,100. Small blind folds, and the big blind folds just as quick. So we'll scoop another one. And we pick up ace king off again. This time the suits are different on this one, and chip stack of 25,000. We go ahead and raise this one up to 3,000 in the big blind as the initial button raises things up, and we decide to 3-bet here with blind levels at 200, 400, 400. The button is gonna go ahead and call, and we're gonna go to a flop with just over 6,000 in the middle. So we'll see what the board comes here, and the flop comes 2, 3, 5. So we do have a gut shot, as the 4 will give us a straight, but we got to worry about if our button has a 6, which he doesn't have many 6s here unless he has suited cards. And it comes a 4. Okay, so we now have the bottom end of the straight. So we bet 2,500 into 6,200, and the button thinks things over, and he folds his cards. Okay, we take down another one, and some blinds are passing us by, but we're just maintaining that 25,000 stack. And here we pick up queen jack off in the big blind, and the under the gun player raises things up. He's the only other one that was in the hand, so we make the call easily with queen jack off in the big blind. Pot size of 2,900. Blind levels have gone up to 300, 500, 500, and the board comes jack 4-3 as we flop top pair. So he leads out here into 2,900, and we decide to go for the check raise. And we put in just enough that would make him go all in. So he doesn't think things through for too long before he calls the all in and tells us that our random jack is good. So we are ahead as he shows pocket 6s on 3-4 jack. So let's see if the turn brings in a sweat, and it does. It's a 5, but the river becomes a 9. So we take this hand and win a pot size of 13,900. So we get up a little bit. And now next hand, small blind, jack 10 off. There's an initial raise by the cutoff position. And in the small blind, I look at my cards for a minute because I'm considering 3-betting here, but we just decide to make the call. Big blind looks at his chips. He likes what he has in his cards, and he decides to make the call as well. So we're going 3 ways to a flop, and the flop comes jack 5-8, 2 hearts. We decide to check out. We do not want to donk bet here, and the big blind checks as well, and the cutoff checks as well. So we're going to a turn card of 10. Okay, so we now have top 2 pair. We lead out this time for 2,200 into 3,900, and the cutoff decides to come along as well. So we're going to a river, just me and the cutoff at this moment, and the river comes the 5 of clubs. So trip 5's out there. He usually doesn't have 5s in his range unless he has 5-6 suited, ace 5 suited, queen 5 suited, maybe sometimes jack 5 suited plus, but we lead out for 5,500, and he makes the call, and he shows over, I believe he had ace jack. So yeah, ace jack, we're good, 19,000 pot, and we are chipping up. Let's hope we can continue this run good. Here in about, I believe we are in level 4. And here on the button, we pick up king, queen off, and the same player as the previous hand decides to raise things up. as he is in the hijack position. So with king queen off, we decide that we are going to 3-bet this. We know we're going to be in position no matter what, sitting on the button. So that's what we do. We 3-bet to 3,600, and the cutoff, or excuse me, the hijack calls. So we're going to a flop, pot size of 8,500. Got about 46,000 in our stack, so nearly double starting stack here in level 4. And the flop comes jack 8-8. Not very favorable. He checks, we check back quickly, and the turn comes the king of spades. He checks things over to us, and I mean, we love seeing the king as we now have top pair. And as the initial 3-better, we bet 3,100, so a little bit of a down bet, but he folds quickly. We take this pot size of 8,500, and we continue to chip up. Level 4 was great, needed some snacks because I was absolutely starving. We get back from break, little 10-minute breaksies, and the blinds are now 300, 600, 600. We're sitting into the big blind with 5-7 off, and the flop comes ace-2-3, as a 4 will give us a straight, but we're just gonna check this one over and see, and he throws out a 1 blind bet, so we make the call as we have a gut shot, and the turn comes unremarkable. I don't remember what it was, to be honest, but we check, he checks, awesome, because the river is a 4. No flush out there. We have the 5 that gives us the straight, and we decide to do a pretty big overbet here of 7,000 into 2,700. He folds, he knew we had the 5. He said he had 2 pairs, so I don't know, but here we go. Ace king suited on the button, and we love what we see out of the short stack. He goes all in for 8,600 chips. We're deciding, do we rip it all in? Do we just call? Well, we decided to make the call because the under the gun player initially raised this one up on a min raise, so we just make the call, and the under the gun player decides to come along as well. So we are going to a pot of over 25,000. This could be a big one, 27,000, and we have 48,000 chips, and the flop comes so dangerous. Man, oh man, I mean, 2, 3, 4, 2 hearts. We have 19 outs right now. We have the flush draw, the 5 that gives us a straight. We have 2 overs. I mean, obviously we have to on 2, 3, 4. So we lead out for 11,000 after the under the gun player checks. He picks up his chips, and you know, if he shoves, because he has about 26,000 in his stack, I believe. Yeah, 26,000. He thinks things over. He grabs his chips with both hands. He's all in. We're calling. Guys, we have 19 outs. Pot size of 80,000 nearly. And he asks us if we have a big pair, and we say no, we are actually on a draw. And I mean, we're on a lot of draws. He shows pocket 9s, and the turn comes to 9, and the river comes to 3 as he boats up. We cannot get any help, unfortunately. And that was just very detrimental to our stack size. And we get we move tables, and we pick up king queen suited under the gun. The flop comes queen queen 4. There's 5,000 in the middle. We're trying to bounce back. We have starting stack. Blinds are 400, 800, 800. We flop trips. We lead out very small, about 1.8 bigs here, 1,500. And we're just in this hand with the big blind at this point as the button decides to fold. And the big blind took a little bit of time to make a decision pre-flop. So I think he has a pair here, but he makes the call, and the turn comes the 5 of hearts. So we're trying to see how can we get as many chips as possible. We make a bet size of about 4,000. He makes the quick fold. And here we go, we're trying to chip up. We need to get back, guys. We gotta bounce back, and here we go, ace queen off. We're under the gun +1. We have 27,000 in our stack, and we're really hoping that we can bounce back. Well, we initially raise, and the button 3-bets us to 4,000 after our raise of 1,600. Oh boy, I don't wanna ship it all in here, guys. I have about, after the raise, 28 blinds or so, I believe. So we just make the call, and we're gonna see a flop, and the flop comes so beautiful. I really didn't want to see an ace just in case he does have ace king. So I was very happy with this flop of queen 10-7, 2 diamonds. We flop top pair. Now we check things over, and we have about 23,000 or so left in our stack. and he leads out for 7,000, so we don't have much behind if we make the call. Like, I mean, we're getting all in, right? You know, we have less than 30 bigs, so it's time. It is time. We jam all in for our remaining stack, and he shows us the bad news. He hit a set on the flop. We are dead. We have to go runner. Here we go. The turn comes. Unremarkable, and the river becomes unremarkable. I knew I was pretty much dead, so thanks, guys.
We bust out of the tournament. I was really hoping to make a deep run. That way I can provide some awesome content and some thrilling content for you guys to see, and because, of course, I wanted to make a deep run myself. That didn't happen, and I was feeling really good at the tables and super comfortable. I felt like I was in the zone, felt like I was running hot, and things just kind of came crashing down. But hey, that's poker. That's how it goes. It's gonna happen. But anyways, I got to come home to a special made cake from my girlfriend, which I thought was pretty cool and super surprising. So, oh my. But anyways, thanks for watching, and you know, 100 subscribers, it's not a lot, but I still think it's cool, and I've really enjoyed posting poker content and whatnot, and yeah, I say and a lot. But anyways, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or week or whatever. So, all right, see you in the next video.